final day. Sunday, live on Sky Sports.
So one game to go. We knew it would go to the last day. The big question would, who would have the initiative and their destiny in their own hands? The answer, the reigning champions, Manchester City, beat West Ham. There's nothing Arsenal can do about it at the Emirates against Everton, and it will be 4 in a row, an historical one for Pep Guardiola and for Manchester City. Stay with us, much more from Michael and Sean on the way, plus all the reaction from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. We'll be back to our team there as well.
Another huge victory for Manchester City. You're now in pole position for a 4th consecutive title. Just how significant is this win?
It's unbelievable. I mean, for us, giving us the chance to fight again in the last game. We know it's still one more game, but the effort we did it today was incredible. It showed the character of the team. Of course, it wasn't our best performance, but we came here to win. That's what we do. And the mentality of these guys, the substitution. I want to talk about today the substitutions. Stefan, he saved us. Jeremy was unbelievable. All the players that came in was exceptional. This talks about the team.
I mean, ultimately, it was Erling Haaland's 2 goals that has won you that tonight. But when you're talking about mentality, that save by Stefan Ortega, how do you sum his performance up?
This is football, the areas. I think we have the best striker in the world. And today he made the difference. The people talk about him, but today the team needed 2 goals, and Stefan was just simply incredible. We were 1-0 up. If they draw, we were out. So outstanding 3 saves. I have no words. Of course, Eddie was a bit frustrated, but the substitution makes sense because he had a concussion. But I mean, watch this. This is something we can do history again, but we have one more effort.
Yes, one more effort. Just one home victory now against West Ham, standing in your way. That title, it must feel like touching distance away now.
Well, we have the experience of Aston Villa. Of course, we know it's not done. We know that it's going to be tough. But with our people, with our crowd, we need their support because we need the last effort. And if we do it, we can change the history.
Well, best of luck on Sunday. For now, enjoy those celebrations. Well done.
The Premier League title is when on the final day?
Just you saying that, Kels, it's just absolutely amazing. I think the game was a little bit weird today. I think it was cautious at times, a few nerves going into it. But there's always a big moment in a title race. And Ortega's save with Son was just absolutely magnificent. You see the spirit here, you see the team, they've got the know-how, they've got the knowledge, and it was, can they put in the performance? It was a game, from a City's perspective, I was worried about with a record here, but they just deliver. In the vital moments, it's the mentality, it's tactically, everything about this team is just great. And to be going for your 4th league title in a row, it just sounds like madness. You know, we watched the great teams, the Man United teams for so many times, and then this City team, to be in the race for 4 is just remarkable. It really is.
And potentially a double as well.
It's madness. It's absolute madness. I can't speak highly enough of this team, and I think it's just the will to go and do it again, because you've won a Premier League, I won a Premier League, and after that, it's almost like I was satisfied with what I've done. But these guys just want more and more. It comes from the manager, it comes from the players, the fans, the away fans today were brilliant, and it's just a great moment for them.
He said before the game, Pep Guardiola, that he doesn't really need to do much in terms of motivating this group of players, that they already know what they need to do in order to get over the line. We've seen them do it before, and it looks like we're seeing them do it again. And it was a strange game, as Micah said, Daniel, but did that almost suit Manchester City, the kind of slower pace of it?
Well, I think Spurs did really try and press them, you know, high. They had moments when they were successful. They had chances as well. But I think, you know, City in the second half particularly, in the first half, you know, you saw Kyle Walker get down the right side many times, and there was half chances. In the second half, you saw Kevin De Bruyne in a similar position to Walks, and boom, you see the perfect cross across the face of the goal, and then it went. And after that, they were comfortable. Spurs had moments, but look, in the end, City's quality shone through. You know, they will be clinical, and if you give this team chances by not taking your chances, because it is a chance. If they don't take their chances, you're giving us a chance. And in the game, I think that's what Spurs did. If they were clinical, of course, they'd have maybe changed the tide of the game, but City were brilliant.
They can win games in all kinds of ways, Jamie. And again, today was a different type of match, a different type of occasion with all the subplots that were running underneath it.
But yeah, but a lot of the time when you talk about City in the big moments, it's the dynamic duo of De Bruyne and Haaland. That's the difference. That's the difference. And they defended well, and the keeper, and we'll talk more about him afterwards. But when you've got a player like Kevin De Bruyne, that, well, no matter what position you put him in, never gets phased, finds the right pass, the right way to pass, and then Haaland's hunger to get in where it hurts between the two posts and get his goal. And that was really the difference, because there wasn't a great deal between the two sides. Tottenham had some great chances. You know, Ortega was magnificent, but that's when you've got someone like De Bruyne, you've always got a chance.
So Manchester City go into the final day of this Premier League season on Sunday against West Ham, knowing that they are 2 points clear of Arsenal, just one in it in terms of goal difference. But Arsenal's is slightly better, which means that if Manchester City were to get a point and Arsenal were to win, then it would go Arsenal's way. Also worth pointing out that Aston Villa are now officially in next season's Champions League. They cannot be caught by Tottenham after their defeat by City. But this extraordinary title race that has ebbed and flowed all season comes down to the final day. City and linking up with Kevin De Bruyne for that opening goal for City as they move 2 points clear of Arsenal at the top of the table. They've put themselves in the perfect position as they head into the final day of the season. But they know, because they've been here before, that there is still one more step to take, Daniel.
Still one more step, man. You can't be going into the last game thinking you've won the title. That's what football's all about. It's game by game. It's the cliche that everyone says, like, hey, one game at a time. But it is the reality. Like, as Walk said before the game, Kyle Walker, this is a cup final for us. The next game will be a cup final again. So they know what they've got to do. They know what's at stake. They're playing for history. I mean, what more do you want? To get you up, to sleep well at night, to eat good, to recover well. You want to be a part of that. You want to be on the football pitch, and you want to be lifting that trophy.
City have done it 4 times, though, haven't they?
Well, look, it's for me, I think that's a sign of a great mentality more than anything else. It's not, with the greatest respect to all the teams in the Premier League, they've pushed them to their limit. And every time they have an answer. These last 4 times they've had an answer. They've been driven to great levels in terms of, today it was a professional performance, maybe not so much, blowing them away, but they showed the experience that enables them to win those 4 titles today, because could have gone clearly. Son could have put one away, and then it's a completely different football match, but the goalkeeper comes on, and he's like absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, so a cup final today, they're past that one. A cup final against West Ham, live on Sky Sports on Sunday. And then an actual cup final for Manchester City as they take on Manchester United. They could be following up and look likely to follow up a treble with a double.
It's ridiculous. I think Daniel summed it up perfectly well there. They're just relentless in what they do. They're confident, tactically astute, know exactly what they want. They push themselves to the limits and they get results. I think when you look at this team and how they set up and look at the players who they've lost in the history as well, it's sort of how they managed to redevelop a new team, play a certain style and still get results. Because when we look at other teams and the way they bring in players and let players go and all that sort of thing, it's like, well, are they going to be the same team? Man City, on the eye for me, probably have not been as, I won't say clinical, but easy on the eye as last year. But this season, just get it done. It doesn't matter. And that's just a sign of a great team. Really.
Were you calm at half-time?
I'm a neutral pundit, so I'm calm, of course, Jamie.
Doesn't sound like it.
No, I don't think so either. Were you calm at half-time? Did you? Okay, I'll rephrase that as you were obviously neutral, which we know you're not. Did you think that City still had enough in their locker to win this game, even at half-time, where it was a little bit edgy first half?
I think when you've got great players on the pitch, like De Bruyne, like Foden, like Haaland, you always expect, in the second half of games, to always open up, of course. I said at half-time to bring on Doku, he gets a pen as well. I just think Man City have so much quality. I think Spurs played really well, especially tactically in that first half, the way they clogged up the middle of the park. But in the end, City's quality shone through, I thought.
2 tremendous teams. They've taken it for the final day for the 10th time in Premier League history. This is how we're shaping up this coming Sunday. We, of course, will be at the Etihad and the Emirates. City have West Ham, Arsenal have Everton, It doesn't matter what Arsenal do. If Manchester City beat David Moyes' side in his final game in charge of West Ham, they will be champions for a record 4th time. In fact, the previous 9 times in the Premier League era, Campbell in Premier League history can better that, which is some statistic. He made a good point there, though. The Aston Villa game, when Gundogan came off the bench, they've been here before. They know how difficult it is. Everyone expects them to beat West Ham. It's no given.
Nothing in football or in the Premier League, for that matter, is ever given. Wherever you are, whether you're top...
They know how difficult it is. Everyone expects them to beat West Ham. It's no given.
Nothing in football or in the Premier League, for that matter, is ever given. Wherever you are, whether it's top versus bottom, we've seen it happen over the years, whether it's something big on the table or not, that they're going to go there and try and win a game. They don't want to lose it either. So unless City come with the same mentality they had in the Spurs game and probably play to the way we know they can, then they should win the game. But they have to be at it. They can't come thinking they're gonna win the game. And I think that's kind of the point Roger was making. They all have been there before. They had the Villa game. They were 2-0 down before they knew it and had to claw it back in the last 15 minutes. So they won't want that to happen again.
No. If there was ever a group of players you'd be confident about not having an off day in that scenario, it would be this bunch, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think when you play, let's say, a lesser team, an inferior team to yourselves, then sometimes complacency can kick in. Of course it can. But when the prize is so big, of course it can. But when the prize is so big, when you've worked so hard for so long, when you've had to go to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and win, I'd be very, very surprised if they took their foot off the pedal now. This team have been there, they've seen it, they've done it, under the greatest of pressure. One-off games is their forte as well. You know, West Ham, you know, go all the way. You said it, they've got one hand on the title now. And yeah, the great Aguero goal rescued them. And that would have been even more of a surprise than West Ham going there. So it's happened before, things can happen with pressure, but I'd be very surprised now.
And you'd have 2 Premier League medals if that hadn't happened.
Thanks for reminding me.
In terms of the adrenaline, you could see that from Rodri there. They knew tonight was the night, didn't they, to keep their destiny.
They needed that second goal. And to do it the way they've done it at a place where they've effectively struggled to score, in hindsight, we didn't see them create that many clear-cut chances or have that many shots from outside the box as they normally do. They were very cautious. They kind of played that game in many ways like an away Champions League game where they didn't want to make too many mistakes and they was patient in terms of trying to wait for that right opportunity to open. And I think Doku coming on changed the game because he gave them that little bit of that unexpected where Spurs don't know what he's going to do and City kind of just play off of what he does and see what he comes out with, especially when he goes to the byline. And that is something they needed in that game for me.
Mm. You don't want to remember the Aguero moment. Julian Lescott always does. He's, of course, alongside Manish tonight for us back at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, gents.
It's not about me, Steve. It's not about me, mate.
As soon as you mentioned Sergio Aguero moment, you can't help but smile, can you?
Of course not. Still chills, and I think it was yesterday, the day of that goal. But yeah, it's not about that era. It's about this team now, and they deserve all the plaudits they get because they're on the verge of making history.
So let's talk about tonight, Jolien. I mean, they kind of pretty frustrated bench, actually, with Pep Guardiola at half-time. But this is Manchester City, isn't it? And we shouldn't be surprised by this. They will eventually grind you down.
Oh, definitely. And they showed that different factors of their character, like Rodri was saying. Obviously, first half was probably an even keel, slightly frustrated from City's point of view, but second half, it was domination. Again, that Spurs had some chances, but the tempo, Bernardo Silva, Guardiola, they all played their part. And as I said, when you've got someone like Haaland and Kevin De Bruyne who have a telepathic understanding, there's always opportunities there.
The role of the substitutes. Stefan Ortega, can you talk to me about that?
Massive contribution, arguably.
Talk to me about
massive
that.
Contribution, arguably one of the most impactful contributions any subs had this season. Doku as well, obviously got the pen, but Ortega, that save from Son when the game was at 1-0 will go down as one of the pivotal moments of the season.
And we must forget the one Kulusevski was pretty decent as well.
Yeah, again, I think he just come on, but again, here's the man.
Here he is, 2-goal hero Erling Haaland. Erling, very many congratulations.
Thank you.
How did you look back at that performance tonight?
Difficult, a lot of emotions, and
there's nothing much to say. There's one more game, and relax, focus, and believe in ourselves.
Do you feel like you've got one hand on the trophy?
No, one more game. As I said, focus. Now go home, relax, enjoy. Nothing more.
What was the message in the dressing room from the manager?
One more.
Yeah.
Don't think. Now relax, and then we go again Sunday.
So no wild celebrations in the dressing room right now?
Don't celebrate yet.
Yeah.
Talk us through Stefan Ortega's performance and contribution.
It's incredible. He's so good, and he's such a good guy as well. Proper German, so no, he's a great guy. And look at this. I think you have to go. I think you have to go Euros now as well, because he's so good and so important.
How big was that save against
it's
Son?
Incredible. It's incredible. And not only him, Ederson as well had some good ones. Don't forget that. But Ortega won in the moment and in everything. Almost got heart attack. So
talk us through your mindset in the penalty. How calm were you? How nervous? Or
I thought, yeah.
At the moment you live
my
for.
heart was beating so quick. But I told Ruben when we were standing there, so tired, and I think also that's why I didn't think. It's the first time I didn't think, and just about getting the ball in the back of the net, and that's what I did. And yeah,
It was quite telling, Erling. Actually, you were just saying one more to go. Let's not get too carried away, and just exactly what Pep said to you in the dressing room just now.
Yeah, as I said now many times, don't think, don't celebrate or anything. We played 37 games now, so it's a marathon. So
and out this way for you.
I knew that a striker for City should score a lot of goals, but again, honestly, I don't care anything about this. I don't care how we win, just win. As I said, I don't. Okay, that's okay.
Definitely the Champions League next season, but a big half still to come. I feel former club looked a little tentative and nervous by their very high standards at times.
I'd have to say, yeah, I think that there has been a few moments in there, especially with Diaz. I think he lost the ball, we were saying, twice in a couple of minutes. So I think there's always going to be a little bit nerves there. They know Spurs is a hard place to come to start off with. They playing very high and aggressive in the press. And they sort of kind of dust their shoulders off, and that's what Pep will most probably say. Just keep doing what you're doing. The chance will come, like it did for Phil earlier in the half.
Yeah, and which you'll see in a moment, a lot you've noticed is coming down the City right.
Yeah, I feel as if they're going to score, we see that graphic there, Steve, if they're going to score, it might be down this right-hand side. We all know that De Bruyne likes to favour this side. You've got Kyle Walker that's really bombing on. Phil Foden's floating into this area. We just pick up a couple of examples, and OK, they're not really strong, but a better run there from Walker, and he's in. I think he might have been just given offside on this one. But if he arcs his run better, he's in there. Again, you expect a little bit of covering from the full-back, but that's a better run. He runs alongside the line, and the ball's just a little bit heavy. So nearly again, the third time again, Van der Ven coming in to cover Haaland, leaving all this space out wide. Phil Foden's out here, Bernardo Silva's out here, and Kyle Walker. So they really are teaming up on this side. This time it's a bad final ball, and now on the last one it's Bernardo Silva that finds himself out here. He doesn't quite get the ball in himself, but Kyle Walker's there backing him up, and he knocks it, and this is one of their best chances of the match. Guardiola at the back post. How many times in recent weeks have we seen him knock that one in the back of the net? So this right-hand side, we saw the stats, we saw the numbers. It's all coming down this right-hand side, and I just think Tottenham going to have to be very careful because something big could happen down that right-hand side.
And it was from that area where the chance for you were talking about for Phil Foden emanated from. He couldn't have done any more here, though, could he? It was just an outstanding goalkeeping save.
It's an unbelievable save. Yeah, I think Vicario's been doing these all season long, but City win the ball back, intercept there, but he just takes a chance and he watches it all the way over his shoulder, tries to place it nicely, but Vicario spreads so wide and gets that strong arm to it, but I don't think Phil could have did any more there, Mark.
No, he can't. I mean, you know me. I hate it when people say, just hit the target. But in this situation, when the ball is dropping over your shoulder, it's one of the hardest skills in football. And concentrating on the strike and getting it on target is probably the safest and most productive play in that situation. He actually hits it really, really well, and it's just a magnificent save from Vicario. So no blame for Foden from
Yeah, and that is City's only effort on target. Spurs at the other end did force one save out of Ederson. You were a little worried initially with the build-up here.
I think they do well, and Højbjerg's pass is unbelievable. You see Guardiola gets caught under it a little bit. He thinks it's going to drop on him, but Brennan, I think, does tremendous here in terms of waiting for that run and picking a pass out, and he gets a clean strike on it. It's just straight. Any other corner, it could have been more of a problem for Ederson personally, especially through those bodies.
Yeah, now this is a situation that I think maybe just hitting the target isn't the right play. I think that you're just inside the box. Maybe Diaz is blocking that far post, but just to smack it down the middle, no, not really my cup of tea, that one. I'd like to think he could just find a corner, either fade it into or pull it into that far one or into the near post. But he's gone for power right down Ederson's neck, and he's tipped it over. But it's not been the greatest of games, but it's one that you've just got to watch at the moment. I can't, I don't even want to blink because something will happen. Two great teams going at it.
77 Premier League shots they've had in this stadium, Manchester City, and they still haven't scored a goal. It's a massive second half, but as we say, as it stands, it's advantage Arsenal. It would be in their hands on the form of a +3